finds a way, the mystery of a woman, a savior in a time of need, the bravery of a woman. In your time of need, she does the deed, the magic of a woman, woman, woman.
It's precisely 80 days to the end of 2016. Another year fast coming to an end. To one woman, 2016 so far has been a positive one. To another sister, 2016 is full of challenges. But as women, we tend to live and survive. Living and surviving is what we want to talk about today on Above Whispers on air on WFM 91.7. Now, gender equality, freedom of expression, and social justice, these are terms and phrases we've heard. Above Whispers on radio, Above Whispers on air is specifically, because I need to let you know why we're sitting here today, is specifically aimed at every woman. And we want to include as many voices as possible to discuss this and many more on radio. We want to talk, we will dialogue, we will discuss constructive debate on burning national issues that will give you, the woman, your voice. We want to influence public opinion for the advancement of your right, of my right, as a woman, as a girl. We want to touch the chord and raise your consciousness on issues, every issue that matter to you as a woman. And so, sister, if you're a woman, if you're a girl out there, please, we want you to join us this afternoon by text, by telephone, through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Listen as we stream live. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your opinion on every program Above Whispers on air. We will bring to you wherever you are as a woman of influence. We will bring them here. We will bring the women of influence into the studio. A leader to motivate you. A woman to inspire, to encourage, to hold your hand on radio. And this is how we do it only on Above Whispers on air. My name is Tom Okewale Shonaya. I think I'm having, that feeling when you have great people. I'm shaking, I'm sweating. I'm humbly honored to have women of high influence, of authority, who are committed to the advancement, the development and progression of every woman and every girl. It is a privilege to have you, Her Excellency, Irilubisi Adeleye Fayemi. Irilubisi Adeleye Fayemi is a founder of AboveWhispers.com. That is why we're here, the media group. She's a co-founder of African Women Development Fund. She's a chair, advisory board of Nigerian Women Trust Fund. She served as a director of Akina Mamawa Africa, an international development organization for African women based in London, United Kingdom, from 1991 to 2001, as well as executive director of the African Women's Development Fund, former First Lady of Ekiti State and wife of the Minister of Mines and Steel. Good afternoon, sister.
Good afternoon, Sister Tom. It's great to be back here.
Thank you very much. So I'm allowed this afternoon to call you a sister?
Absolutely.
All protocols, we throw you out. All protocols, we take you out of the window. I also have the multiple award-winning actress, actor, director, and businesswoman, Joke Silva. Auntie Joke, good afternoon.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm very good. Now, Auntie Joke, some call you Joke Silva, some say Joke Jacob, some say everything. What should I call you today?
All join, but call me Joke Silva. Today, Joke Silva.
All join. Though we're talking women and girls here this afternoon, Wednesday, 12th of October, 2016, we have a man who is strong and bold enough to be sitting with three women. Mr. Oluseyi Oyebisi, he's executive director of a Nigerian network of NGOs, a senior policy analyst and strategist on addressing development challenges of African policy landscape. He previously worked as global coordinator for the UNICEF Rural Voices of Youth project. He presently serves on the board of Civica Society for social protection in Nigeria. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Sister Tom, for having me.
You're very bold, though.
Well, I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Above Whispers on WFM 91.7. Sister Irelu, Adele Efayemi, I'm going to throw this to you. What exactly is woman empowerment? I'm asking this question because we hear these big phrases, and I want every woman on the street to understand where we're coming from.
Yes, that's fine. When we talk about women's empowerment, what we are saying is that we want every woman to be able to live up to her full potential. We want every woman to have control over all decisions that affect her life. We want women to be able to live their lives free from fear and abuse. And we want women to have a voice in decision making, particularly when it comes to decisions that affect her life, that affect her family and her community.
Woman empowerment. I love when you said control of decisions about her. That's what we were talking about. I'm going to come to you, Joke.
Yes.
Gender equality. Again, these are big mouthy phrases. What is gender equality?
Well,
I mean, does a woman selling pepper in the market understand gender equality? So what is it?
Well, I mean, I'm one of those that tend to believe that a lot of market women, whether they are selling in the street or in the market or in the shop, they are actually extremely intelligent people, But for me, gender equality means that equal opportunity for both sexes. Gender doesn't just refer to the female gender.
Actually, gender is both male and female.
Yes, exactly. It's both male and female. So gender equality is that, everything that is acceptable for one gender, equal. It's like equal rights for human beings, really,
irrespective of your sex.
Irrespective of your sex. That's what gender equality is.
Thank you. And the gentleman, I'm going to join together. Woman empowerment, gender equality. From your perspective of a man, as a man, what's your take on that?
I think my take on this is that it helps the man a lot if you're able to empower your woman. And I'll give you a very quick example. You're a busy man. You're not always at home. But your wife has enough time. So after working 8 to 9, you get back home. And your wife is telling you that I couldn't fix this bulb. And I'm waiting for you. What do? You're like, so since morning that I've gone to work, you mean you can't fix just this small bulb? Then your wife is telling you, yeah, because it's the work of a man. Who does that? So what strikes you first as a man is, so I still have to work 8 to 9 and come back and fix the bulb.
Oh, so you think she's sitting at home sleeping?
She's not sleeping. But what we're saying is that if you've empowered her, she probably won't wait for you. A woman knows what to do. Oh, this bulb is burnt. Oh, let me fix it before this.
Thank you very much. Woman empowerment, Irilu, I'm throwing this to you. Woman empowerment and gender equality. I mean, some see this as foreign concepts. And the question is, will this not cause danger to Nigerian culture and values?
Some communities are more progressive than others when it comes to women's empowerment and gender equality issues.
Yes.
But speaking as someone who has very significant knowledge of southwestern Nigeria, for example, and I know that other cultures in different parts of the African continent are as progressive as our cultures as well. Concepts around women's empowerment and gender equality are not strange.
Okay.
They might not have used those words. They might not have said gender equality or women's rights or feminism. But those principles have always been there. Women, for example, have always played key roles in Yoruba communities as political leaders, as religious leaders, as cultural leaders. And they've always been key participants in economic processes. Way back in the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries, Yoruba women, as well as women from other parts of Nigeria as well, were long-distance traders. No community then could take decisions without taking into consideration the voices of women.
Okay.
Now, over time, these roles became eroded due to the impact of colonial policies.
Okay.
And with the advent of introduction of new religions, Islam, Christianity, and so on. But the fact still remains that in other communities, we had women who stood up and said no to abuse.
Yeah.
We had inbuilt mechanisms to prevent women from abuse.
Okay.
And we also had women who refused to be subjected to harmful traditional practices.
Okay.
I'm not romanticizing our history in any way at all. But I'm just saying the fact that in every community you would find the one woman or two women who would stand up and say, no, this is wrong and it's not acceptable.
That's it.
That also coincided with the so-called conventional understanding of women as witches. Because in places where you have women who would stand up and say, I don't agree with this or I don't want this happening, then they get labeled because those positions are not deemed to be normal positions. So they became abnormal and they started labeling them as witches and so on. So these concepts are not strange to us at all. But what we need to do is, as we engage with the contemporary understandings, we also need to go back into our histories and see how these connections can be made.
Fantastic. Have you got something to say, Joke, on that? She's covered everything up.
Yes,
you know, when I asked that question, what came to my mind was when you spoke about control over your decisions, whether you're black or white, whether you're green or red, whether you're tall or short, I mean, white as in foreign, how can that be, how can that have a negative impact on me as a black young girl, having control over the decisions that matter to me? So for me, the question again says, are these not foreign concepts and will this not cause any danger to Nigerian culture? You've just answered it. Because it's the same everywhere, isn't it?
Yes, and then I think also to add to that is that, this idea of in most of the world, I mean, the world is becoming quite a village. And there's so many concepts that are working now and that are making various countries thrive that are not originally from that country. For a very simple one for me is this issue of cement. All right? For us in Nigeria, for instance, we have incredibly rich red earth that we make red bricks from. And our red brick is actually better for us for building than the foreign cement that we tend to use now, because red brick breathes. But the cement is a foreign concept that we have accepted, and it's made us thrive. So just because something is foreign doesn't mean it is bad.
Now, Doris has sent a text in. She says, people neglect my ideas. Because I am a female. I have what will provide job for over 1,000 people. But anyone I show my product say, wow, very nice. Nothing more? Up till now, I'm in my room doing it the small way. All the big plan is gradually going cold. She's 24 years old. She says, I'm confused. What do I do? Doris, I hope you're listening so that you can phone in and ask for the questions if you want to. So people just condemn. It's like she's marginalized because she feels she's marginalized because she's a woman.
Well, that could go both ways. She could be marginalized because she's a young woman, and people don't tend to take young people very seriously. They need opportunities. They need to be given access to resources that will enable them fulfill their dreams. Like, she has this great product, and I'm sure it's great. She has this great product that she thinks if it could be invested in, it will mean a great deal to her. All I can say to her is that she should not give up. She should keep working at it. And I hope that she'll be able to find people around her who will be prepared to make the necessary investments. Economic empowerment is it's vital, it's key to women's empowerment. and to the whole concept of gender equality.
Okay.
As my brother Oyebisi has just said, if women are not empowered economically and in all other senses of the word, they are just going to become redundant. They will be a liability, and I'm sure no man wants a liability around him. So the empowerment of women does not disempower men. The empowerment of women empowers men as well, and that way we have healthy families and vibrant communities.
Well, go on to Above Whispers, look at everything they are doing on Above Whispers, and let's see how we can work together to support you. It's about developing the woman. Also, you can send a message to all the tweet, all the handles I've given you. Above _whisper on Twitter, Above Whispers on Facebook and Instagram. Go to WFM, contact us, and then we will just help and push you. Because one other thing that they do, Above Whispers do, is they access you to the appropriate agencies. So go on there and make contact with us. This is Above Whispers on WFM 91.7. I'm going to come to you, sir. And the question is, we're talking about these values. We're talking about these values. Do you think that these values have any positive impact on Nigerian women and the girl from your okay? Sorry, I have to stop you there. Amaka from Ifo. How are you?
Hi, Noma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you? How do you do?
I'm okay. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, Mommy Jake, and all the guests in the studio.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Thank you. I was listening to your program. It's very interesting, But I want to know, should we be talking about gender equality or gender equity? You know that the man is predisposed to being stronger than the woman. So is it gender equality we should be talking about, or gender equity?
Okay.
Wow.
Sorry, what did you say?
Is it gender equality?
No, she asked another question. What did you say?
Did I listen over the radio?
Please do listen over the radio. Yes, gender equality or gender equity is what she's saying. Thank you for that, Amaka.
Well, I think for me it's both ways, but let's achieve one first. Equality is what we're still struggling with. And when you look at equality itself, equality means that both girls and boys have access to the same rights and also to the same roles. We're still struggling really with that. In a world where equity is given, then we don't have any problem. So I would, in terms of strategy, I would rather say, let's get equality right. From the way boys are trained, the way girls are trained, the way women are treated, and the way men are treated.
Well, hi, good afternoon. Your question?
I was just going to ask, women, one of the guests made mention of women standing up for other women. And so now I'm going to ask, like, taking away male folks, do you think there is gender equality among women? Like, taking away male folks right now?
Sorry, if you take away the man, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Do you think there's gender equality amongst women?
Okay.
I think I understand what she's saying, and that's a very familiar conversation about class. And the answer to your question is there are indeed very deep inequalities amongst women on the basis of our social status, education, marital status, whether we are abled or disabled, whether we have children or don't have children. It's a long list, whether we are urban-based or rural-based, whether we are employed or unemployed. And one of the mistakes that we often make, especially for those of us who have certain access to education and resources, is sometimes we are unaware of our own privilege as women. The same way in which we tell some white people that they are not conscious or aware of the privileges that they enjoy as white people vis-a-vis people of color. So it's important for women who want to show solidarity with other women, for women who truly believe in the principles of women's empowerment, the feminist movement, and gender equality. We have to first of all appreciate the importance of being a sister's keeper.
Thank you.
Doing whatever we can to support other women and pull them up. Recognizing the fact, for example, that in a country such as Nigeria, majority of our women live in rural areas. They don't have access to basic things like electricity, like water, food and shelter is also an issue.
I'm going to stop you there so that we can have Amaka. It's about them today.
Exactly.
Amaka, hi, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Joke.
Good afternoon, Amaka.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon, Amaka. How are you?
Good afternoon. Fine. I'm really enjoying your program. And I'm glad I'm listening to it now. My problem is at work, I'm being passed off for promotion. Others are being promoted. Other men are being promoted. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe because I'm a woman, they don't want to promote me or something. I'm really frustrated. I'm getting really frustrated and I don't know what to do.
Okay. Thank you, Amaka. Your question will be answered. But keep following and keep listening and make sure you tweet and contact them. She's going to answer your question now.
Okay, should I answer this question or the question?
I think we should answer her question and then come back to that one.
Well, that's again something we see a lot. Women struggling in the private sector or in the public sector, and for some strange reason, they enter into these employments with the same qualifications and the same experience as a man, and then 5 years down the line, the men that they started these jobs with have leapfrogged ahead of them. And there's always a reason why the woman hasn't got the promotion. Mm-hmm. So what I'll say to you, it's a number of things. First of all, you need to do a lot of work on yourself. Make sure that your CV is competitive. And I'm sure it already is, but look at your CV vis-a-vis the CV of those who have been promoted and see if there are things you can do about that. Mm. You might consider raising the issues with your line manager and just asking, like, I say I didn't get promoted this time. Is there anything I need to work on to ensure that I have better luck next time? Continue to work on yourself, continue to attend courses and join organizations or affiliate with organizations where you can have mentors or where you can have some kind of guidance. Sister Joke spoke about WIMBIS, for example. That's a very important network for you to be a part of. So you might be able to pick up some information or advice to help you, do better with your career. I wish you all the best.
I've got Dele from Ikotu. Hi, Dele.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Please go ahead with your question, Dele.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Like you guys are talking about gender equality or something. I really want to know what you want the outcome to be. Like, does woman want to pay for house rent or something? Like, I really want to know.
I'm sorry, I did not understand your question. Can you put the question through again? We are talking. You want me to tell you what we're talking about? Women's empowerment and gender equality, and we're saying, are they foreign concepts, and do they constitute a danger to Nigeria's culture and values?
Okay, you know what I want to know.
Hello, Dele. Dele, I really would like you to call back. Did you understand what he's trying to say?
I think what he's trying to say is, in the end, what are we driving at? Do we want women to pay for house rent, or do we want women to take over the role of the man? That's my, assumption based on what I heard.
Okay.
But I think that's not the case, Dele. I'm talking to you as a man. What we want as an outcome is a woman that does not necessarily depend on you to make the home front work. If you're married, you would get a deep sense of what I'm saying. Because, if you marry a woman that is not empowered, then it gets to a point where you're like tired of that marriage. And I'm not taking to you, I'm not being sentimental about this. I'm just telling you what the reality is. For our own generation, 21st century men, you must empower your wife. Otherwise, you'll die walking.
Yeah, but sir, I just quickly need to say that there is we're not acting here. This is not stage play. And I can see all of you, high fiving. But do you know that When we started WFM,
Yes.
and we went to make a presentation to somebody, the first thing he said is, you just want to take over. Who says, which voice of women? You have voice now, so you want to take over again. What? So there are some people out there who just feel what we're talking about is that women want to rule, women want to take over. And I'm glad he asked that question, and I'm glad you answered the question. There's a text here. Her name is Kike. She said, I'm sexually harassed and abused by my male boss, and I'm scared to talk because I don't want to be sacked.
That's a very serious issue.
True. Yeah.
So I would like to know, does your boss have a boss? Does your establishment have a sexual harassment policy in place? Are you familiar with it? Do you have any witnesses? Are there other people who have been victims of his advances towards you? Or have you told a colleague who is well respected at work what is happening to you? You need some evidence of it. You need some documentation that you can refer to. As I said, if you have a sexual harassment policy, that's something to fall back on. And hopefully that policy will provide information on the mechanisms to go through to be able to file a complaint and to ensure that you don't get victimized in the process. Now, if your boss does not have a boss, then that's a problem. So I suggest that maybe you might want to contact one of the women's rights organizations who work on these issues. And I can give you an example like Project Alert. You can Google and get more information on them. And while you do that, continue to work on yourself, work on your CV, keep developing yourself so you can get somewhere else to work. Because no woman should have to work in an atmosphere of fear and disrespect.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think the average Nigerian woman or girl sees herself as being marginalized, as being put down or belittled, the average Nigerian woman?
Well, I mean, in answer to that question, one of the things that I would say is that when I look at, for example, our National Assembly, yes, I do feel marginalized. I feel that there are not enough women that are representing my interest. We make probably we are just about more than half the population. So I do believe that if we have more women in power, they would be able to deal with my issues, some of the issues that I face. Somebody saying to me that I have to bring a male before I can bail out somebody from that doesn't make sense to me. And then there are also so many other issues that concern me that I believe that if I had more representation in leadership.
Banjo.
Yes.
Banjo from Magboro is on the line to us. Hello, Banjo. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Okay. Can you speak up, Banjo?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I've been listening to the program quite well. Yeah. Support, at least women should have their own ways. Women should be empowerment, because if you don't empower a woman, she ends up being a rag unto a man. And I guess having equal rights is not saying we're trying to have equal rights, at least for women to be there, that at least to be up doing that. They have the ability that yes, we can stand.
We lost her there, but we do understand what she's trying to say. I think she's just confirming and validating the essence and the reason of what we're doing here today. This is Above Whispers on WFM 91.7. We still have 6 minutes to go. It's a sponsored program by Above Whispers, and so we still have 6 minutes to go. Call us on 07000 917 917 090256 25455. That gentleman asked a question, and I want to throw this to you. Just digressing a little bit, do you think men are believed to be the head of a home? Do you think they are?
Well, I mean, when you look at the God-given role of a man in terms of hierarchy, all right? There's, if you believe in the Bible, there's Jesus Christ, then there's...
I have to stop you there.
Okay.
Tosin.
Especially on an issue that I like the way you were going, because
he was so interested.
I was ready.
And I'm going to say, Bible says man. Man means female and woman, but let's take Tosin. Tosin from Egbeda. Hi, Tosin.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How do you do?
I'm fine. Tosin, I'm calling from Egbeda.
Okay, go ahead with your comment or question.
I've been following your program. It's interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to add a little to contribution to the program.
Please go ahead, sir. Make it.
Okay. I think when you're talking about gender equality, we're talking about equal rights given to the both male and female sex. And when you're talking about equal rights, we're talking about equal rights in all stratosphere of the society, be it the economy, the political sphere, what have you. You're giving equal rights to both the male and female gender. So when you're also talking about women empowerment, I think in Nigeria, the government should still do more about empowering the women.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're with you. We are with you. Thank you very much. He's supporting what you're doing. Do you want to just thank him for supporting?
Well, thank you very much. And I also want to say something about some of these concepts because sometimes people play off against them and there's quite a great deal of conceptual clarity. Mm-hmm. When we are talking about systems that marginalize and undermine women, political, economic, religious, technological, and so on, male-dominated, those are the systems that we refer to as patriarchy. Oh. Now, women know what it means to be marginalized under patriarchy. As Sister Joke just said, as a Nigerian woman, I don't find it acceptable that there are only 7 female senators out of 100 and something men.
Yes.
That does not make any sense to me in a country that has almost 50% women and so many qualified women who could have competed for those positions.
Okay.
So we know what it's like to be marginalized, excluded, and disempowered by patriarchal norms and processes. So women are not in the business, women's rights advocates are not in the business of replacing a patriarchy with a matriarchy.
That's it.
Because what that means is that women are just simply going to move in and take over the jobs of the boys, be the lords and the masters, be the ones dictating things, and the men will be doing the... Maybe that might not be a bad idea, so that they know how it feels like.
He giggled.
But that's not the point.
Yes.
The point is, we want a society, we want a country, and we want communities that are fair, that are equitable, and that are places where everyone, regardless of the circumstances of their birth, regardless of the gender that they are born with, can have equal access to equal opportunities. That's what we are saying.
Thank you very much. And in a few seconds, Ma, let's know why are we doing Above Whispers on air in a few seconds? It's a privilege to be part of it. WFM is a radio station that you're working with. Why are we doing this?
In March of this year, the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill was supposed to go through a second reading at the Senate. Well, it did go through a second reading, but it was thrown out.
Okay.
And one of the things that came up as we were doing a post-mortem about what happened and how we could do better and get it back on track.
Yeah.
One of the things that we were told was that we need to have more conversations nationally around these issues so that people can understand what these concepts mean and put pressure on their lawmakers.
Thank you.
So this is one of the main reasons why we have Above Whispers on air. The great news is that the bill went through a second hearing 2 weeks ago and it scaled through.
We don't know how she always finds a way, the mystery of a woman. A savior in a time of need, the bravery of a woman. In your time of need, she does the deed, the magic of a woman. Woman, woman.